Hi friends, in the last few lessons we already familiarized what is a pivot table and how we can create a pivot chart using this pivot table and also how to insert a slicer. So next we are going to learn how to create a dashboard using the commands and tricks we already learned in the last few lessons. So it is very important that you must watch the previous lessons about pivot table, slicers and pivot chart. Then watch this video in order to understand easily how to create a interactive dashboard. So let us discuss how we can easily create a dashboard, that is interactive dashboard in pivot table. So far we have learned about pivot chart and pivot table and slicers. So we are making use of this into creating a dashboard. This is a dashboard, sample dashboard. We can click here month, so we can have month-wise report. Different type of reports are there, and there are 6 charts here. All these charts are associated with the 6 type of pivot table we have created, and this is the sales data. This data is very large, that is about 5119 rows are there. So actually one row, so all these connected to the pivot table very easily, and we have made different chart in the dashboard. So actually how we create a dashboard is we have some questions from higher department. Then these are the sample information we have to do, that is sales trend over time, top salesperson performance, and we will discuss all these things one by one. So these are the pivot chart created according to this one. First one, sales trend over time. So when you click here, we will get the year-wise report and different sales, region-wise sales, salesperson performance, etc. easily available by clicking on these slicers. That is why it is called an interactive dashboard. So in this lesson, we will discuss how to create such a dashboard using pivot table, slicers and charts. This is the data we are going to use for creating dashboard. So this is a large data having more than 5000 rows. So first step is convert this into a Excel table. So press Ctrl T, then click OK. This is converted into pivot table. We discussed what are the features of pivot table in previous lesson. So we can have remove the filter button. So here we have only date only, but we want month and year separately for dashboard because our prompt is including year from 2022 to 2025, and we want monthly sales and yearly sales in dashboard. So for that we have to convert this date into month and year. So for that, first we select this and control plus, one row is inserted, another row is inserted. All these are explained in previous lessons. So then first we rename this as month, then next one is year. Then how to extract month and name it as month name January, February. So we use a function is equal to text, then in tab, then select this value. So this is at the rate of date, that means this is a feature of the table. Then the comma, then we have to provide the format. We discussed the format in previous lesson. So for extracting month name, we give for m and close the quotes and press enter. So we have January, February, etc. extracted from this date. Similarly, we can have year, that is again text, then select the date, comma, then we have y, then press enter. So when you press the enter key, the entire data is copied into the all the 5000, more than 5000 rows. This is another feature of Excel table. You can watch my lesson about Excel table in previous lesson. So we have month and year. So now we want to look at this, the prompt, that is the questions. We have to create the chart. So we want to make the area a little larger for creating chart and dashboard. So for that, So this is home key. Take any of the tab and just double click on this. The ribbon is minimized. If you want, when you click here, you will see the expansion. So click in any one of the cell, it will again minimize. If you want to watch it fully, you can again double click on this. So we minimize the area. So then we are going to insert a pivot table. Then go to click the insert and pivot table. We will be asked to new worksheet. So click OK. So worksheet 2 is created. Then I just move this here. So in the prompt, this is sales under overtime. We want date in rows and total sales in values. So we drag date in rows, then total sales in values. We have the pivot table now. So from this pivot table, we can insert a chart. Pivot table, analyze, then click on the pivot chart. So we are using a line chart. So a line chart is selected, then click OK. A chart is created. So this is MS because every date is plotted here. So when we add slicer and click on the slicer, so this will have a good chart. So we want the charts in new sheet. So actually every chart is created in new sheet and slicer is added in new sheet. We are going to, so we create a sheet 3. So here we have different method to move this chart. We already told you that. So you can click on pivot chart, analyze, and click on this, or we explain how to move the chart. We can just press Ctrl X, that is for cut. So then paste here, Ctrl V, chart is pasted here. So we can move the chart where we like. So here we can format the chart using the design. So we can select one from this. So we selected, and we can change the heading by selecting here total. Heading is we can pick from here. So sales trend over time. So Control C, and again go to the chart, select here, then Control V. So heading is here. So we can remove this. We all explained this in the previous lesson. Hide all field button. So we have a chart here. Then we can make another changes from clicking here, size and everything. We already explained. So in this way, a chart is created. This chart is associated with this pivot table. So here one thing we have to think that we are going to create more chart and more pivot table. It is better to rename the chart. Here when you go to the chart, that is sorry, pivot table analyze, when you click pivot chart analyze, this is then named as chart 1. So you can rename this as sales trend. Okay, press enter, a chart is renamed. Okay, then again take the pivot table. We can rename the pivot table also. Click here, pivot table 1, select the pivot table 1, then again we rename sales trend and press enter. So this also renamed. So when we add new chart and new pivot table, we can rename this. So you can go and check the name. In this way we added the first chart. So we are going to add slicers. Go to the pivot table. Now for adding slicers, we want year, month, and different, that is region and product. All these are we needed for slicer. So select the pivot table and click on this. Then you can see insert slicer. So we want month wise, year wise, region and product. So click on this. 4 slicer will be created. We want to move the slicer also. So first one, select one slicer and press and hold the control key, and you can see the change in the mouse pointer. Click on this. So second slicer also selected, again third and fourth selected. Just cut this slicer and place here by control V. So now we can move the slicer where we want. So first we move the slicer here. So what we do, we can sorry, so we can move the slicer or make changes to the slicer. So just click and hold and place here. Okay, then you can convert this slicer. We can click here, slicer properties, click on 2 columns. So again we can reduce the size. So one more thing we can do, that you can take the slicer and align to snap to grid. So when it is selected, it will be snapped to the grid. We can bring this size here Again, this when we select the snap to grid, this problem advantage is this will be easily snap to the Excel grid line. So we can place it easily. Okay, in this way we can have a slicer here. So one is placed, and similarly we can select this. So we convert this slicer into 6 columns. So either you can click here to increase or select and 6 by 6. So we can drag to resize the slicer again to see the entire month. Okay, so we can again select snaps align to snaps to grid. So we can have reduce the size on this. Again we can place it here. Okay, so similarly region we can place here. We convert this into two columns. Again we can place the slicer as snap to grid. Okay, then this one we can close this. Again this is into 2 columns. This slicer in align to snap to grid. So in this way we can place the slicer, and we can, for good look and feel, we can arrange this beautifully. So all these slicers are actually connected to the pivot table. There is only one pivot table, so there is no need of connecting. It's already connected. So when you select this slicer and click on this report connection, this is selected. All slicer is connected to slicer and chart. So you can see when you click here, you can see the difference about the chart is, and the sales is available, accessories, and it is very easy to have different region sales, product, and monthly wise sales, yearly wise, and everything. You can click on this for remove the filter in this way. So this is why it is called interactive dashboard. So it is very easy to connect this. We can place this somewhere here to have room for other chart also. So you have to practice all these things for making it easy for adding another chart and connecting the new chart or new pivot table to this slicer. All we explained, then we can have a beautiful dashboard. So actually our lessons are planned about 12 to 15 minutes maximum. So for that we wind up the class for today, and next time we will meet in the next Tuesday also with completing the pivot table and the chart associated with it. You have to practice this, and the file for practicing, the link for it is available in our description. You can download the file and practice this, and we'll be back in the next week for completing the dashboard. So thank you very much for watching the video. Goodbye.